Hello everybody, Budleyneck here. It's time for another Mods of the Week. This week's shout out goes to Leo Yang. I will do that, Leo. Thanks for the idea, and thank you for watching, commenting, and subscribing. As always, we have 10 fantastic mods to go over. Let's get to them. Ars Nouveau is a Forge 114, 115, and 116 magic mod that has some pretty amazing features. This mod allows you to design and create your own spells, automate gameplay, and conjure items with magical servants and spell turrets, and power magical machines. When you start designing your own spells, you're only going to have a few options available. To unlock more options, you need to craft glyphs using the glyph press. Once you craft a glyph, right-click it, and any spellbooks in your inventory will have it added to them. If we use the creative spellbook, all glyphs are unlocked, and you can see there are a lot more options to be unlocked. When creating a spell, first choose how you want to cast it. This can be done with a rune, on what you touch, on yourself, or with a projectile. Augments can be used to modify a form or effect, like splitting a projectile to multiple projectiles, amplifying damage, or increasing the time you have a buff. Finally, effects are pretty much the verbs of spells. These are the actions that the spell will perform. You can mix and match these to get some pretty interesting effects. I've made a few quick examples to show just a few of the possibilities. Here's some mega amplified knockback. You can even AoE mine and automatically put the items in your inventory. Here's a beefed up explosion spell. And this one's just a new way of fast travel with leap and slow fall. This one's for if you get surrounded, you'll buff yourself with magic shield and summon a bunch of Vex to fight for you. And here's an example of how you could pair a rune with launch and slow fall to get to some hard to get places. This mod also adds a few mobs to the game that you can earn as summons in various ways. The Sylph enjoys a diverse natural surrounding and will give you some gifts based on the surrounding if you keep it happy and provide it with mana. Carbuncles can pick up and transport items for you, and Whelps can cast spells that you create and inscribe on a spell parchment. There's also portals for teleporting, there's an entirely new crafting system, there are permanent chalk runes, armors, and curios with magical effects and bonuses, and much, much more. This mod is absolutely massive and very, very impressive. I've had more fun experimenting with this than I've had in a long time, and it just keeps getting better. Bloom and Gloom is a Forge 116 mod that plans to add more flora to the overworld to make it feel lush. Currently, it adds Rafflesia. These generate naturally in the jungle and can be sold by wandering traders. When stepped on or hit by a projectile, they make a poison cloud and then go into a cooldown state, which can be sped up with bone meal. You can feed them suspicious stew to change their cloud to give the effect of the stew. This can be automated with comparators and dispensers. There's a 10% chance that a Rafflesia will be pollinated if an adjacent Rafflesia is set off. A pollinated Rafflesia will eventually drop a seed that can be used to plant a new one. This can also be sped up with bone meal. And finally, most passive and intelligent mobs are repelled by the Rafflesia. This single flower has introduced a lot of interesting game mechanics, and I can't wait to see what they add next. Dark Dungeons is a Fabric 116 mod that spawns random dungeons that generate spawner boss rooms. Once you find one, right-click the spawner to begin the waves of mobs. Once you complete all the waves, the spawner will reset and reward you. And you can keep repeating this as many times as you like. You can also create your own spawner profiles using a data pack. And it's actually pretty easy to do. The developer gives examples if you take a look at their GitHub. I love that this is a repeatable challenge and this has a lot of potential. I think it just needs a little more variety, which at the moment you have to add yourself with the data pack. Endermen Are Friends is a small Fabric 116 mod that gives us a way to pacify angry Endermen. With this mod installed, you can give a hostile Enderman a flower to calm them down. I like that this gives flowers an interesting mechanic and a good reason to carry them early game. Gentle Picking is a Fabric 116 mod that aims to make gathering flowers a more enjoyable experience. Rather than punching to break flowers, with this mod you can right-click flowers and mushrooms to pick them. This makes it easy to walk through a grassy area and just hold down the right-click button to gather only pickable items. For such a simple change, it really gives gathering flowers a more gentle, relaxing feeling. And that pop sound they added is very satisfying. HeartBond is a Fabric 116 mod that introduces a player-to-player teleportation system. Each player should craft an Ender Heart. This is going to be used as your identifier. You should definitely name these so they don't get mixed up later on. You can combine 2 Ender Hearts with Soul Sand or Soul Soil to create an Ender Soul. You should also name this to something meaningful because you're likely to end up with more than one of these. Equip your Ender Heart in the newly added Curio slot. And now you can use the Ender Soul to teleport to your friend wherever they may be. As long as wherever they may be is in the same dimension that you be, because this does not work across dimensions. Inventory Hotswap is a Forge 115 and 116 mod that allows you to cycle through items in your inventory in a new and intuitive way. Pressing left alt brings up the inventory slots above the current slot that you're on. You can then use the mouse wheel to scroll and select the item that you want. This feels really good too. When I read the mod's description, I thought that sounds cool, but would I actually use it? The answer is yes, 100% yes. You just have to try it and see how natural it feels. And there are 3 options for how this mod handles your UI. It can push it up, go over the top of it, or make it invisible. Infinity Water Bucket is a small Fabric 116 mod that brings the infinite water bucket from Quark to Fabric. You can use an anvil to combine a water bucket and an infinity book to get an unlimited supply of water. TemporaryBlock is a Forge 112 mod that aims to help with block placement. The Temporary Block Placer allows you to place a temporary block midair and on water like a lily pad. And if you right-click a temporary block, it will replace it with the block in your hand. The placer has 512 uses by default, but if you put the infinity enchantment on it, it'll last forever. You can also chain destroy temporary blocks in a 16 by 16 radius by sneaking while you break one. The Undergarden is a Forge 116 mod that adds a dark subterranean world deep below the bedrock of the overworld. To get to the Undergarden, you need to craft a catalyst and make a portal frame with stone bricks or bricks from the Undergarden. This is a dark and gloomy world with a look and feel all its own. It's made up of 8 biomes that all blend together to make this magical world. The flora here have adapted to their conditions and can grow regardless of light levels. You'll also see many new mobs, hostile and friendly, and there's a boss on the way. He's still a work in progress, but we could always use more boss fights, so I'm looking forward to seeing him in the game. On top of all this, there are new armors, weapons, and tools with special properties, 10 new songs, a bunch of new blocks, light sources, plants, and even a new explosive to play with. Despite being so dark and dreary, this dimension really is beautiful in how it all melds together into a fun new environment to explore and discover. And that is all the time we have for this episode. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and for sticking around to the very end. I need to give an extra big thank you to all my Patreon supporters. Their names are up on the screen right now. I've been having a good time playing on the server with you guys. I want to thank all of you again for watching this. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Keep playing, keep having fun. We will see you guys next time.